Hello everybody. For this video, I'm just gonna give you guys an inside look slash review overview of this series. I call it the Keepers series. It's by Michael J. Caruto and Joseph Bruchac, yeah. Story illustrations by David something Fadden. Okay, so these are the people. Pronounce that how you may, because I probably butchered it. So, as far as I'm aware, there are 4 books in this series. 3 of them are all the same size, and then this one right here is a little bit smaller. This one is Keepers of the Night, Native American Stories and Nocturnal Activities for Children, Keepers of Animals, Native American Stories and Wildlife Activities for Children, Keepers of Earth, Native American Stories and Environmental Activities for Children, and Keepers of Life, discovering plants through Native American stories and earth activities for children. So, I bought these books. They're all around $20, give or take a few bucks. I'm just going to kind of show you guys how they are laid out. They're all laid out fairly similar. I'm pretty sure they're all laid out almost exactly the same. So yeah, we'll just start with this one. They do not come spiral bound. My binding's coming out, sorry. They do not come spiral bound. They come, I think it's called Perfect Bound. Pretty sure it's called Perfect Bound, which is like a glued binding. And I took them and got them spiral bound. So yeah. So when you open them up, you have Praise for Keepers of the Earth. And I use this as our science curriculum in our homeschool, along with like lab books and nature study. For the children of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So then we have the table of contents. So in the table of contents, you're going to see everything that this book covers. So for part 1, it's a guide for using and enjoying the book. And then after you finish part 1, it goes into like the actual stories. So you're going to be covering creation, Native American creation, the element of fire, the element of earth, water, sky, seasons, plants and animals, life, death, spirit, and unity of earth. And so under each topic, I should move this down a little bit so you guys can see. So under each topic, so you're going to have, so it'll have the story. So this story is How Turtle Flew South for Winter. Okay. And then the topic that it covers is winter and animal survival. And then there's activities that you can do. So it brings science through stories, through storytelling, to the kids or to whoever you were teaching. So I'll just show you guys how that kind of happens. And there's like things that you're going to want to need while you use this book. There's advice for how to tell a good story, in conducting activities, teaching by example. Just it's a very good first section. I highly recommend that you read it because it's in the book to tell you how to use the book, and it's very informative. Okay, so that whole little bit right there is how to use it, and then the rest of this is the stories. All right, so part 2, Native American Stories and Environmental Activities. And so the first chapter is creation, and there's usually an illustration that goes along with each story. So this story is The Coming of Glūs gābi. I don't know if I pronounced that name right, but in the back there is a pronunciation guide. Tells you where the story's from. And then, you read the story. This one happens to be really short. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter. And then it has like discussion questions or, something to get a discussion going, as well as questions about the story. And then also questions, I don't think they're all about the story. So like, have you ever been to a natural place that was beautiful to look at? Describe it. So they're not all about the story, but they're related to the story. And then these little symbols, I should have shown you guys these in the beginning. So each story, each little lesson has these symbols, and they each mean something. So this is like outside I can't remember what they all mean. It does have a little part right here. There it is. So the eyeballs are sensory awareness of Earth. The Earth is understanding of Earth. The mountain range with the river is caring for Earth. And the handshake is caring for people. And then the sun is outdoors and the house is indoors. So it tells you like what it's covering, and if it's going to be done indoors or outdoors or both. Then they usually have several different activities that you can choose from. So this one just looks like it has one activity, but a lot of them have more than one. So you have your activity, and then you have your goals for the lesson, and then the age that it's appropriate for. So this one's appropriate for younger children or older children, and older children. Then the procedure, so how you're going to go about doing that activity, and then all the instructions for that, the materials that you're going to need, and then a little bit on extending the experience. And that's it. You know, that's how it goes about the entire book. Story, picture. That's why I bound it, because ideally you'd be memorizing these stories and telling them from memory, just like you would in like a Waldorf classroom. I'm very bad at that. I need to practice. But I got it bound because most of the time it's laid out like this, so then I can do this, and while I'm reading the story, my kids are seeing the picture. And that works out well for us because I'm still working on it. Maybe I'll be able to memorize one day, but for now it's not happening. So like I said, just the stories, then the discussion, then the questions, and then the activities, and it brings science through a story. So you're telling the story and then you're teaching an actual science lesson. And so it's a very living way of approaching science. And they're very engaging stories. They're super interesting and fun. And my kids have absolutely loved them. So yeah, we do this in the spring and in the summer. So let's see. So in the back you have your glossary and your pronunciation key. Yeah. That's pretty straightforward. All right, photographic credits. Index of activities. When I'm lesson planning, this index of activities comes in super handy. Because if I just need like an activity, then I can look it up in here. And I find it really useful. But even more useful than that is the table of contents. So if I'm looking for a specific activity, because I already know that it's in here, I already know that's going to go well with the lesson, or whatever, I'll check out the index. But the table of contents is actually a lot more handy when it comes to planning lessons because it tells you your topics right there. So we go through it in order, but if you didn't want to go through it in order and you were looking for something on, I don't know, animals in winter and animal survival, you'd go through and you'd look at the topics. Oh, that's astronomy, that's season and plant cycles, that's farming, blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay, look, this is winter and animal survival. Then you could put that book or put that story into your schedule, read it to them, and pick an activity to do with it. So you can use it that way too. So this one focuses on like earth science. And there's some animals and stuff in there too, like habitats and whatnot. This one is about plants. So, oh, look, it's a medicine wheel. Okay, so this one is about plants, and what this one covers, I'll pull this down. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so this one is covering, oh, wrong part, down here, because that's the same thing like the introduction part. So we have creation, celebration, Thanksgiving, and stewardship. Maybe it was better if I had this up, huh? Sorry, can't make up my mind. Flowers, fruits, seeds, and spores. Survival. Healing our relations. And so I don't know if I gave you guys along on a few of the other one, but some of these topics. So you have like flowering plants, prairies and grasslands, urban and suburban environments, plant communities, values of urban and suburban plants, plant survival adaptations, interrelations. So this is all about plants. It has fungi, including mushrooms, mosses and ferns, conifers and related plants, coniferous forest, trees, tree anatomy. So this one's all plants. Same layout as the other one. This one right here is Keepers of the Animals. Bet you can't guess what this one's about. The animals. Okay, so in this one we have creation again. So that would be like, this one would be creation of plants. This one would be creation of like the different elements in the worlds. This one would be the creation of the animals, according to Native Americans. So, and it's a whole slew of Native American tribes. Let's see, topic, spiders, animal symbols, finding the animal within, which is cool. Celebration, appreciation, circles of life. So then you have creation, celebration, vision, feathers and fur, scales and skin, and survival. So if you don't want to do this like one book at a time like we're doing it, and if you have to report to a school or something, and say the school wants you to cover plant life cycles and the rock cycle and animal coverings and habitats, right? So then you'd probably be using all 3 of these books, but just 2 or 3 stories from each book. And that's a good, I've done that too. And that went well. So let's see, what are some other topics in this one? Predator and prey, whales and other marine animals, threatened and endangered species, animals of the seashore, invertebrates, insects, butterflies, fish, mammals, dogs and pets, coyotes. So there's all sorts. There's birds in there. There's all sorts of different topics in there. And then the last one is Keepers of the Night, and this is everything nocturnal. So all right, where do our topics start? This one I think is laid out a little bit differently if I remember. Yeah, so these ones have a bunch of subtopics and subcategories because, you know, there's a lot that's in animals and plants and the earth. But this is just strictly nocturnal. This is strictly nighttime. And so that is the main topic. So there's none of that subcategorizing stuff going on. So it just goes straight into the stories and the topics. So these are like nocturnal animals, animal adaptations, life in the dark. We have insects and spiders at night. Also nocturnal plants. The night sky, astronomy, stargazing, constellations, planets, solar eclipse. Reading the moon, moonwalker. Oh, those aren't the topics. Those are the activities. Let's see. Setting of the campfire and campsite, the opening circle of a fire, campfire building, storytelling around the campfire, native names. This one seems like a lot of fun. Learning from the animals, animal families, traditional native North American families, earth family of all living things. So it's very, it's very connected to nature, and that's what I absolutely love about these resources. And then this one is laid out. I'm pretty sure this one is laid out the same way. We haven't done a whole lot in this one. So you have your story, and then you have your discussion. Very long discussion. This is illustrating the way a spider makes a web. And then you have your questions and your activities. And multiple activities. So yeah, these books, we've had a lot of fun with what we've done in these, and I definitely recommend them. So if you're looking for a very connected to nature, Charlotte Mason or Waldorfy approach to science, I mean, maybe not so much Waldorfy because that's more specific, but just a very nature-centered, gentle, and loving curriculum for our earth and our planet and our animals and things, this would be awesome for you. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.